Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris, and we are CityQuest. Imagine Rome, once the most powerful empire on this planet, burnt to the ground. Like Rome, our cities are vulnerable, and if there's anything you take away from today's amazing pictures, it's that the future of work, communication, the environment, and our planet even, is more uncertain than ever. And we must actively design for resilience. One of the major issues facing our cities today is the rising cost of healthcare. And the single biggest influencer to this cost is physical inactivity. In fact, Australians spend $800 million a year fighting this problem. And the solution is surprisingly simple. 30 minutes of activity a day keeps the doctors away. But the thing is, most of us don't do this. Why? Our research revealed that people actively avoided getting out and about in the public open spaces if they felt unsafe or if they lacked transport options. By contrast, the things that people love most about Sydney, think about Sydney and the beaches, are places that let them connect with people and with nature at the same time. Now, without being a tree-hugging hippie, and I love tree-hugging hippies, public open spaces have been shown to increase physical activity, increase local revenue for businesses, and decrease pollution at the same time. The problem, however, is that cities have no way of measuring this ROI at scale, and worse yet, businesses have no way of leveraging and exploiting the increase in real-time foot traffic. Thus, the solution is CityQuest, a real-time augmented reality adventure in a city near you. Our business model is centered around this concept of quests and milestones. It's kind of like as if Pokemon Go and Groupon had babies, but on steroids. Firstly, you pick the quests that you're actually interested in, whether it's things like visiting new places, or getting awesome deals, or maybe burning some kilojoules. You get to see reviews before you make a decision. Is it safe? Is it hard to get to? Then you can join your friends and participate in the quest in real time. You get points as you reach physical quest milestones, and you can compete against friends like in the Amazing Race. Now, the pivotal part is where businesses come in. Basically, a local business can come onto our platform for free and register their store as a sponsored milestone. That means that when users approach the sponsored milestone, they get prompted with a discount coupon, and then they can pay for a product in our app then and there, without having to pull out the credit card. Finally, if you've enjoyed the quest, you can leave a review and share the love with friends to get extra points. And we believe CityQuest is playing in a massive market. Just look at that double-digit capital B behind me, and there's even a T in there as well. That's a $3 trillion mobile payment market. And within this market, however, just for today, we're targeting two primary early adopter users. The first is a millennial who's got no money but loves trying new things. The second is the small business owner who's got no customers and no marketing skills. We've got his back. And our acquisition strategy is built upon three core pillars. The first is a focus on hyper-local liquidity of supply and demand, because nobody wants to go on a quest without the right incentives. Secondly, we've built in loss aversion, or FOMO, into the fabric of our game's mechanics. For example, your friends are leaving in 2 minutes, so join them. Or time-sensitive deals that expire, which also help small businesses build off-peak demand. Finally, we have a frictionless cross-platform sharing and incentives to increase our referral rate and decrease our cost of acquisition. Our revenue model is really simple. We take a 0.99% transaction fee on all the online to offline in-app purchases. Using conservative industry benchmarks, we are positive on our unit economics from day zero. In short, even an average company can make this work, and I can assure you, we are not an average company. Why is that? We have a rockstar team with a diverse set of skills, including a transport engineer, an electrical engineer, a sustainability architect, a public health expert, and myself, a digital product manager. And we believe it's this team and a lens of resilience that makes us uniquely poised to solve this huge problem. For example, unlike social networks like WeChat and Facebook, we are platform agnostic, which means that we can scale and cross that cultural divide. Secondly, unlike mobile games, we want to be a serious tool for local businesses to leverage the opportunity of better utilized public open spaces. And boy, have we hustled. We can execute This is not just a pretty slide deck. We have 41 customer interviews with a 100% sign-up rate, and we visited 17 stores, but get this, 100% of the stores located off the main street said yes. And this really proves the hypothesis that we can indeed monetize the road less traveled. This is the long tail, and all we're missing is you. We're looking for investors and mentors with a passion for city resilience. This is core to our culture, and we're seeking $25,000 to build a minimum viable product. So, join our crest today, and let's activate our cities. Thank you. I'd just like to introduce the team. This is Iris, our transport engineer. Lou, who's our sustainability architect. We've got Siobhan, our public health expert. Sutton, who's our electrical engineer. And myself, Chris, the digital product manager.
Team, again, well done. Great presentation. Question. On my iPhone, I've probably got 100 apps all competing for my attention. Right, so how would you compete on attention over time?
I think the strongest aspect, which I alluded to only briefly, was the power of loss aversion, or FOMO, as youngins might know it. And basically, that and the frictionless cross-platform sharing. So for example, I'm on a quest. I've just tried out this awesome Belgian waffle, and I'm going to share it with my friends. I might even take a photo and upload it to Instagram. And I'm going to give my friends that discount coupon as well. Or even more powerful is the time sensitivity of it, where your friends might be leaving nearby, 2 minutes away, you're studying at the library, and they're off to go. So I might as well go and get a coffee as well, and try out the new joint in this off street. So I think that is really going to be core to us getting users back again and again. This type of thinking, building that into the fabric of our product's behavioral psychology. Yeah.
When you first started, I thought, oh my God, here we go, and then you introduced the shopping element, and you won me. So the question that I've got is your social impact. How are you giving back to community?
Yeah, so as Chris alluded to, physical inactivity is one of the biggest health burdens of all cities. So Australia alone, it's an $800 million problem, and so with China, you can imagine it's an even a multitude factor of that. So we believe that we're making cities sustainable in two ways. So by getting citizens outdoors, that makes cities feel safe, feel accessible. It keeps talent in cities, so that's a big thing, keeping millennials in cities, growing the economy, so in that way, and also in the health way. So preventing, as we move from more infectious diseases to chronic diseases such as obesity, cardiovascular disease, things like that. Physical inactivity is a huge problem, so we feel that that's what our value proposition.
Chris, I think you're phenomenal. You should be a showman, entertainer, you should be on the voice. I think you deserve a stage, well done. All your colleagues are equally as talented. I just really enjoyed watching you guys. I've got a question about how you're gonna develop critical mass quickly, because I think we all know, unless your friends participate, and you develop critical mass quickly, those things can die and be surpassed pretty quickly. So that's one of the serious questions. The other question is how do you combine waffles with obesity? So I think that's just a minor detail, but yeah, really interested to know how you do get the critical mass quickly.
They were low-carb waffles. But to the first question, how do we get critical mass? Actually, we've got a plan to not get critical mass. Well, critical mass at a hyper-local level. So for some context, I've helped build one of Australia's largest pet service market, well, the largest pet service marketplace, which really works in the online to offline space, if you imagine pets not being online. And basically, our strategy so far, which has worked, is that we focus on hyper-local demand and supply. So the concept isn't that I need 1 million users all across Australia and 10,000 businesses. The concept is maybe just in Baltimore alone, we get 5 or 10 shops and we get 2,000 UTS students, hyper-local density, to make sure that the liquidity is matched. Also, based on our unit economics, we can acquire demand with paid advertising as well, quite efficiently. Mobile benchmarks are about 70 US cents per install. So at least we can get people that first coffee discount and hopefully keep them coming back. Yeah.
Why is the prototype so expensive?
Prototype so expensive?
Yeah.
Actually, the prototype would be based on a React Native kind of build, and we estimated that using, or assuming, two Russian developers, one designer, working just for 8 weeks at around $25 an hour full time. And I think that's a pretty fair amount from at least my experience building product. Yeah.
Okay, thank
I
you.
got one more. My suggestion to you is to pivot the idea. I think you should have brought that hyperlocal, made it much more upfront. I met a vendor 2 weeks ago. They've already API'd 250 wearable tech pieces into their platform, and they're driving it from an advertiser point of view to create foot traffic to a specific SKU in a CAMPx or a point of sale. So that's a much more difficult proposition for a startup to sell to an advertiser. You've got a great positioning in terms of that hyperlocal market drive. So I think that's the story that needs to come to life. The pivot out and the trade sale perspective should be the data that underlies the activity of those people. That database is worth more than your business idea. Because if you can track somebody's being idle at home versus on the road to a point of sale, that's the holy grail for Woolworths and Coles. And that's kind of the Amazon war that's about to occur. So I think that is really much what people would be investing in for, that database. Okay? Cool. But a great idea, just a slight tweak and you'll get it.
Thank you, Clemens.
We are all happy about it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Sorry for the premature discussion. Thank you, EY Sustainable and Resilient.